It is great to have you back here at Coin Lady channel. The time of collapse is almost here, aren't we, guys? In any case, a black swan event would be the bare minimum. Why? The reason being that we have just received the most significant signal that was necessary for us to see. This guy is a crypto billionaire from Ripple Labs who just listed his Miami mansion for $18.5 million. Ripple just confirmed it. I see. This was published on October 23, 2023. Greetings, all. Very well. Absolutely, as of October 19, 23911, quite intriguing. Executive Officer Brad Garlinghouse runs the cryptocurrency firm that has been embroiled in a legal dispute with U.S. authorities for the better part of a decade. Hold for a second, was Brad Garland's residence listed or someone else's? Excuse me, I need to look that up fast. The beachfront property of crypto millionaire Brad Garland is right here. Brad is the CEO of Ripple Labs, a California-based business that produced the cryptocurrency token XRP, which hit the market for $18.5 million. Now, Mama Mimi is where you'll find the house. To that end, the Garland House paid $16.7 million to acquire the estate. And basically, among the crypto industry's wealthiest holding household names is Garlinghouse, a multi-billionaire. His firm, Ripple Labs, has been in the news recently due to its legal spat with federal regulatory gauze, who started to crack down on Bitcoin exchanges in 2018. While other platforms, including Binance and Coinbase, were faced with additional accusations from regulators and suffered significant losses, Ripple Labs emerged victorious over the SEC in court this summer, marking a milestone ruling for crypto markets. What I find most interesting is spending $18.5 million on legal defense against SEC accusations makes his company's spending look like a pittance in contrast to the estimated $200 million it spent. That is fascinating, isn't it? In other words, purportedly, dudes. In this piece of writing it is stated that his Miami mansion is up for sale, and the big issue is why. After all, we're dealing with Ripple, and they seem to be selling their own property as if they anticipate a real estate market crash. Oh, and here's still further proof that not only the Ripple crew, but Apple themselves are in on this. Wow, it's almost as if Apple executives are bracing themselves for a real estate industry crisis by selling assets. I see. Ex-Apple employee Aspen was therefore sold for $45 million. Even Ripple CEO is selling off his estate. I have no idea if it has sold yet. That is intriguing, though, isn't it? Is it not a declaration of war? That's the only explanation I can think of. Guys, they're selling more than just properties, they're also selling their own stocks and shares. Hold on, what? Breaking this is Jeff Bezos' first significant stock sale since 2021, and it's worth $2 billion worth of Amazon shares. The year is 2020 January. The same old thing. The main point here, gentlemen, is that Jeff Bezos and his associates have just made over $2 billion from the sale of 12 million Amazon shares, and that's not even counting future sales. Guys, there's more to come. Thus, not only did he come close to selling $2 million worth of Amazon shares, but he also has more on the way. He has more to do. This guy is exactly what we expected. In a filing with federal regulators, Jeff Bezos revealed that he had sold over 12 million shares of Amazon stock, with a combined value of over $2 billion. Onward to Amazon. The sale of 12 million shares of common stock was announced on February 7th and 8th by the executive chairman of Amazon to the US SEC. I thought this was intriguing, and it happened a few days ago. In its own SEC filing, on or about February 7th, Bezos announced that 50 million Amazon shares would be sold. With a projected $8.4 billion in worth, seriously, dude, how shall we proceed? If they sell at the exact top, it would be considered insider trading, which is quite suspicious. If all these CEOs there must be something really suspicious about millionaires selling their stocks and shares just before the collapse. They gradually start selling guys shortly before the collapse, so it's no surprise that they do it. Behold, everyone is doing it. I see. Please be patient. Everyone, calm down. I completely overlooked including this in here, which is why it is here now. Why is this so important, you guys? Jeff Bezos is selling all of his stock, you know? Sure enough, the markets turned negative. This is occurring again. Because past events tend to repeat themselves, he is making astronomical sales. Perhaps something will happen in the next months, as we approach the April-May timeframe. I am uncertain. So, what was the price paid if this is the way you determine that Jesus has returned home? Forgive me? When did they take his picture? After the alfalfa meal on Saturday night? Would you prefer to continue your studies in January 2020 or give them up? Indeed, I was sent. Imagine if Geraldine and you were invited to an extravagant party at Jeff Bezos's $23 million mansion. Exactly, at the very end of January 2020, it transpired. Listen up, guys. This is what she says. I see. And Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase. Every single one of them is there. If you come out as susceptible to outside influences, it could send the wrong message to Jamie Dimon, the founder and CEO of JP Morgan Chase. Oh, how we wish it weren't. At the gathering, what were you two talking about? Yeah, I didn't. Nobody you need to hear from was on my radar. None of them prompted him to speak. Put an end to it. Do you all already know? On a monetary note, then? What the heck? I can tell that you all don't trust me. But listen, right before that crash happened, Jeff Bezos sold $3.4 billion worth of Amazon stock. Put an end to it. Greetings, you witty bunch. The S&P 500 index, SPX, has hit an all-time high on the weekly charts, and while I've known for a long time that another major event won't happen until 2020, I can't tell if this is happening on the daily charts or the weekly ones. Well, it's clear that we're back at those overbought levels. But hold on a second, why isn't it over yet? The Relative Strength Index, RSI, has been displayed here for a considerable amount of time, as you can see in this indication. It knew it could remain in the air for the time being. Therefore, it may remain in that position for at least a few more months. Do you see that, guys? That, together with a bearish divergence. Oh, really? I mean, those differences aren't actually there, but they do indicate high points and low points very often, don't you think? A bullish divergence has also developed for XRP. Do you agree? If XOP can maintain its current level of 49 cents and carries on beyond this month, UPS is poised for an explosive move to the upside, as shown by the rising indicators on the weekly and 2-week charts. Something isn't going to happen, and the evidence is stacking up, men. It was absolutely happening, but not financially. The video for today would be greatly appreciated if you could give it a like. So far, you all seem to be enjoying ourselves. Greetings, all. According to Jamie Dimon, the most predicted catastrophe in history is an ACC that is more predictable. So, what's next for the head honchos at Bank of America? My God, that is really ridiculous. Just take a look at this. According to a remark made by Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, the largest bank in the United States, this is the most anticipated crisis in history. There is no emergency. If and when it really collapses, you people are in for a nightmare. Alright, everyone? I see. That is the largest one you possess. Charming individuals ought to be frightened of. All okay, then. The markets will reveal their future direction tomorrow or this next week, making it the most important week of the year. Why? Important happenings this week? Here is the January CPI inflation data that was released on Tuesday. From all of them, the one is the most crucial. All. I see. If the CPI inflation report figure comes in at 2.x2 point something on Tuesday, which, by God, we hope it does, we will go up. The arrival of the black swan will serve as the trigger, so let's keep traveling in that direction. My goal is that it's below 3%. Yes, gentlemen, if that is a magnificent sky ahead of you. Clear skies, gentlemen. A stock market meltdown is currently underway. Perhaps that will come to pass. Why? Reason being, Jim Cramer just confirmed it to us. Recall that he had previously stated the opposite. He has returned to his role as a contrarian indicator, and he claims that Jim Cramer has predicted a market correction. On January 16, this occurred. Then I have no idea whether he has reconsidered. Having said that, it seems like every stock has been doing nothing but going up recently. Do you agree? By that point, you probably guessed what had occurred to the market. It has risen, hasn't it? Plus, hopefully, nothing is going up and will continue to go up on nothing. Do you agree? It won't magically disappear tomorrow or today. Alright, everyone, this is the strategy. So, what if, in the next report, we manage to bring CPI to 2 point something? That would set off a chain reaction, wouldn't it? If you don't listen to the Fed, they will sway you. Based on past trends, the Federal Reserve is expected to start lowering interest rates in March 2024. Do you agree? At this time, the Federal Reserve is of the opinion that a rate cut is within the realm of possibility. Furthermore, they anticipate that the markets will rise in response to this policy shift. The market appreciates it. At the March meeting, guys, are they planning to lower rates? What if they alter your mind? Prior to it, the markets will have a tremendous rise. Alright, then we can expect to see a small dump and pump after they cut, everyone. Do you agree? Decline in price, followed by the emergence of a black swan around the middle of the year, perhaps in April or May. However, we must prepare for the CPI report, my friends, since that data will be unprecedented in its significance. On average, the Federal Reserve has waited 8 months after a rate hike before beginning rate cuts. The most recent rate hike was in July and will not occur until 2023. On March 24, rate decreases are anticipated to commence. Considering the average over the past few years, it's fascinating to see that you're correct. If past trends continue, they will be slashing our budget in March. The markets, however, are indicating the inverse, with odds of a rate decrease having fallen to 19%. Why? Simply put, inflation rose. The reason why Tuesday is so important is that if inflation drops to 2% on Tuesday, the cost of living will skyrocket to 80%. Yes, fellows, that's correct. In March, the Federal Reserve will chop. And it will be flawless, won't it? So, let's cross our fingers and see what occurs this week. Just 2 more days till we find out, you guys. Then there are instances where this is evident, like in 1997 and 1969. Rate cuts are practically inevitable, aren't they? The Fed waited 18 months before doing so. Seeing what happens, guys, is going to be fairly easy. Although Powell did state that they will not be cutting in March, that is about it. But were they aware of inflation beforehand? Do you agree? Are they aware that it will be priced higher? On the other hand, will it center on that? For 3 individuals in the 3% range? Not to mention how lovely it would be if they did tell it. So, it's a win-win situation, so it doesn't matter, right? Who wouldn't want the markets to continue their upward run for an extended period of time if they hold? Why don't markets do more than simply pump and dump? I mean, come on, folks, it was inevitable. In that case, holding it is certainly ideal. However, if we would like to witness astronomically high prices, we should hold off until March. However, the double-edged sword becomes apparent after that point. If success is imminent, but a caucus occurred, it can be a month or 2 afterwards. In all likelihood, a black swan event will transpire, causing the market to plummet and crumble. Despite its monstrous nature, the biggest market catastrophe and economic disaster since 1929 is about to occur. Why are you coming? But initially, Blufftop absolutely correct. Compared to 9029 and 99.9, what 1929 guys, our projection for the probable equity risk premium over the next 10 to 12 years is now lower. Here in the year 2000, just before the dot-com bust. Pop in the midst of the Great Depression, this was bubble pop. All the way down to those levels, we are. Oh no, it's even worse than that, you guys. I agree, it's the worst thing ever. Holy cow. As soon as it is triggered, it's game over, literally. Are you prepared for the inevitable unforeseen problems that may arise across the board? But first things first, pumping. Always be ready to grab profits, even when you don't have financial counsel. Alright, I'm going to end this video now. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Thank you so much, everyone. Do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. Goodbye for now.